What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below, so please feel free to use them. But with that being said, we're just going to jump straight in to today's stories. Much love, guys. Now, this first story comes from Demiak. Am I the arsehole for getting mad at my girlfriend who refuses to watch anything with child stars, which really limits what we can watch? My girlfriend is the type who really makes choices in her life based on her beliefs. She became vegan, she quit her job over ethical concerns. She sold her car to get a bike, etc. She buys nearly nothing new, only secondhand or homemade. This is something I always admired about her, but recently we had an argument about a new choice of hers, which I kind of understand but also kind of find frustrating. She decided to stop watching any media with child stars or child actors in it, including reality TV, family YouTubers or any YouTubers that had their kids in their videos, and fictional movies and TV. She said it was because that industry is too exploitative and puts kids in the public eye and under so much attention for the rest of their life, and they aren't developmentally prepared to understand what they are getting into, if they even were given a choice at all. And that just like we shouldn't let a 5-year-old decide to go into a factory because they want to play at being a grown-up, or a 10-year-old drive because they want to be a trucker when they grow up, we shouldn't let kids decide to start a career in acting. I get it. I know some of the stories coming out of Hollywood are really bad, but I felt frustrated because one of the big things we do together, especially recently when everyone had stuck at home, is chill at home and watch TV or movies together. And you don't really realise how much media has kids in it. She drew the line at significant character roles. So if there are extras or a kid in a shot who isn't meaningful / a reoccurring character, that's fine. But if they're playing a character, she gets put off immediately and doesn't want to keep watching. It was also frustrating when we wanted to host some backyard movie nights with a projector. She wasn't interested in joining for any of the stuff the group wanted to watch, when that used to be something social that we all used to do together. I got so frustrated with her that I told her she was overreacting, that it was stupid of her to put her feelings about kids who are ending up with sometimes millions of dollars over something like relationship or social life, and that sometimes I and our friends just want to watch a movie and not thinking about how making might be problematic. She got upset with me for the stupid comment and said that she didn't want to see that shit anymore. I could if I wanted, but all she wanted was to not watch something that disgusted her without being made to feel stupid. I feel kind of bad because she isn't telling me or my friends that they have to do the same. She's just making a choice for herself. But I also feel upset because that choice for herself is affecting our friendship and social life. Am I the arsehole for getting upset with my girlfriend because she wants to stop watching media with child stars? And we're going to start with Evening Jellyfish 1 on this one, saying, "Soft, you're the arsehole. You shouldn't have called her stupid, as her point is very valid, and it's honourable of her to stick to her beliefs this strictly. That said, she seems to be a bit of an extremist to the point where it's likely you two aren't compatible. If she really wants to live a 100% ethical life, she won't be able to do much of anything anymore. Human beings existing causes damage to the planet and society. It's just inevitable." And Prairie Mountain Zen says, "You're the arsehole. You always admired your girlfriend's morality and humanity until it inconvenienced you. Now you're pressuring her and trying to guilt her into going against her beliefs because you and your friends would really rather not think about problematic things. Why can't you and your friends get more creative with your gatherings? Why do you always have to watch movies? Can't you play board games or something like that?" An Ecstatic Turnover says, "I'll go with her, no one's the arsehole here, but you're on a thin line. Like you say, she's not forcing it on you, so it's entirely up to her if she's happy to forego these social events, etc., but you can still go. It almost affects you, but not really. You still get to watch TV together, it just takes longer to find something. But I won't dismiss the fact that it's nice to have her around when with friends, so yeah, I get both sides." And Bagel says, "You're the arsehole. I feel like you might get quite a few people agreeing with your side that you're not the arsehole though. Your girlfriend sounds like she has a strict moral code on what she believes in, and what's even better is she sounds like someone who doesn't just talk the talk but actually follows through with her actions. Like you said, it's pretty admirable. The only difference in the other choices she does, veganism, secondhand clothes, etc., is that those only really affect her life, and you can still do whatever you want, but this choice seems to affect you, and now you'd like her to ease up on her following through. If this is something she's morally against, I'd say work around it. There's plenty of great movies without any major child roles. I just watched Knives Out, man. So good. You should figure out what your morals are, support your girlfriend or watch movies with her, then align your actions." And then we'll have one more from Ruby Sneakers, who says, "You're the arsehole for this," and quotes, "I got so frustrated with her that I told her she was overreacting, that it was stupid of her to put her feelings about kids who are ending up with sometimes millions of dollars over stuff like a relationship or social life." And then says, "Do you think millions of dollars makes up for abuse, which is what many children in the entertainment industry experience, even children who work for companies like Disney? Is telling that you think they get paid somehow negates the fact that there is abuse and neglect behind many child actors? I don't understand why you're equating her choosing not to watch certain movies with putting that over your relationship. If it's a deal breaker that your girlfriend won't watch certain movies while not stopping anyone else from watching them, then you should consider breaking up." And now we'll move on to the next story. And our next story comes from Feisty Asks 7710. "Am I the arsehole for writing a nasty post about my daughter's teacher on Facebook? So my daughter, 11 female, is undergoing a clinical trial for a disorder she has and must go through chemotherapy. We are currently in a different state at the Children's Hospital for the trial. We've been here for 1 month now and will likely stay for 3 more. My daughter's school, private school, knew she would be going through this. It was written multiple times. I told the principal and my daughter's teacher that she would do work/sign on to class meets when she felt well enough, but school is not our main priority right now. So far, she's not doing great. She's barely able to get out of bed and is having a really rough time. She hasn't been doing school, and I really wasn't thinking about it yesterday when I checked my daughter's grades, and it's marking her as unexcused absence every single day. I immediately called the school and they said there was nothing they could do and I had to talk to her teacher directly. So I called the teacher and she told me about how she couldn't cater to every individual child's needs, and lockdown has made her life so hard we shouldn't expect special treatment. I said to her that I do expect special treatment when my child is literally going through chemo. I asked that she please change the absences to excused. She said no, and then she started telling me about all the missing work my daughter has to keep up on. By the way, if she fails at the end of the year, she would have to repeat the grade. I got so mad and tried to talk to the counsellor and the principal, but they said it was up to the teacher, and again, I got lectured on how hard it is for the teacher to be on virtual. So I pulled her from the school and I'm working on getting into local public school. The only reason she wasn't there in the first place is because it's 20 minutes away. But I was still so angry, so I wrote a post on the county Facebook page ranting about it. I didn't include the teacher's name, but I did include the school, and there are only 2 teachers per grade, and the other teacher in her grade is a man, so it's pretty easy to guess which one I was talking about. Luckily, almost everyone agrees with me, and a few other people are considering pulling their kids out of her class. I got an email from the principal saying this is harassment and the teacher did nothing wrong and is just going through a hard time, and that I need to cut her some slack. Am I the arsehole here? Should I have just quit after I pulled her out? Edit, she's not missing 4 months of school, only like a month and a half. Most of it will be over the summer. I don't think she should have to repeat the whole grade for just missing a month and a half at the very end of the school year. Now, first of all, I'm a big advocate for teachers. I mean, I think they're undervalued, underpaid, and generally schools are understaffed a lot of the time and they get a lot of abuse, and their workload has tripled just recently, but that's not excusing what's going on in here. And again, I'm someone who hates it when people turn to Facebook, so I came into this post thinking automatically, oh yeah, here we go, you're definitely going to be the arsehole in this situation. But I can't say you are, because you've exhausted all avenues to me, and in what you did, you approached the principal, you approached everyone, and everyone's just saying, oh no, this is up to the teacher. And when you did approach the teacher, she said, oh no, there's nothing I can do about it, I'm going through a hard time myself. And it's like, well, no, I think this family is going to be going through a tougher time. I hate to say it, but I think they will be. A child who's not doing well and dealing with chemo, I mean, watching my dad go through chemo was hard enough. I can't imagine watching a child go through that. So definitely I think the teacher's in the wrong for their approach and what they've done, and, you know, marking it down as unexcused absence when, you know, it should be excused absence. But at the same time, I am questioning, will the child have to do some of that schoolwork anyway? Can they really expect not to complete their grade? And I'm not saying it like as a negative towards the child, but for the child's own benefit. If they've missed like a month and a half of work or whatever, won't they need to catch up on that somehow, or redo it to, you know, be on par with everyone else? I don't know. I'm just always happy to be educating myself on these matters. I don't know. I'm just thinking out the box here. But Doug Kokas says, not the arsehole. Maybe the teacher is having a hard time, but it's not a reason or excuse to be unreasonable about the difficult time your daughter is going through. And Queen Oreo says, not the arsehole. That's ridiculous. She's hospitalized. While it's great to do schoolwork, both for her education and normal activity, it's absolutely not the priority. Chemo is hell and the teacher sounds like Satan. Public school is probably your best bet though, because they are required by law to accommodate your child's illness. And Newton says, not the arsehole, you did the right thing by pulling your kid and letting other parents know about the situation. The principal is 100% wrong to not intervene and leave the decision ultimately up to the teacher when there is an extenuating circumstance such as your child's. I hope the trial is successful. And Jammy913 says, I came prepared to say you're the arsehole, that you should have gone to the principal, but that avenue was shut down to you. What about the superintendent next? Or are you calling local news to complain about it? I don't agree Facebook is the place for the issue, but I do think light needs to be shined right onto it. If the principal isn't doing their job, then their boss needs to know. Not the arsehole. And Cryosata says, honestly, I'm not sure what to say here. I get that she's sick. I get that she's going through chemo and is unable to attend school/do homework, and that's okay. But the teacher is kinda right too. She will have to repeat this grade. She can't just not do anything. And I really get that she literally can't do those things, but that's how schools work. You don't pass if you don't attend school and do assignments. I don't know, I'm going to go with everyone sucks here. And People Gas says, unpopular, but I'm going to go with a soft you're the arsehole. I think the teacher may be right even if her method is wrong. If your daughter can't complete the work and the grade, then it may be best for her to repeat the grade once she gets well enough to do so. But putting someone on blast on Facebook you disagree is always an arsehole move. And we'll have one more from Hawk Holly saying, everyone sucks here, teacher is absolutely wrong for how she treated your daughter, but you're just expecting your child to not have to repeat her grade after not doing any work for 4 months. That's not an accommodation that teachers can provide at any school, or should at age 11. And now we'll move on to the next story. And our next story comes from Nikki. Am I the arsehole for telling my son and his girlfriend that they are both idiots? I am 39 female. This morning my 19, soon to be 20-year-old son got his first apartment. We all went over to help him move in. His girlfriend, 18 soon to be 19, was there. She mentioned that they were trying for a baby, and that's why he wanted the 2-bedroom apartment. They will not be living together. It caught me completely off guard because my husband and I have repeatedly told all our children how hard it was for having children so young. We were/are very forward and honest with our children about sex and started talking to them about sex and safe sex fairly young. We were very stupid when young and we owned up to that. I worked 2 jobs while my husband finished trade school and he worked 2 jobs while I went to nursing school. We had a lot of help too. My son just finished trade school and just landed a job in his field. He makes good money, but kids are hard. His girlfriend works part-time as a cashier and has no future plans, but her sister just had a baby, so now she wants one. I know I have no say in this whatsoever, but I do not want my child to struggle as hard as we did. We will not be there to babysit often. We both have our own jobs. We won't be able to help much. Anyways, I explained all of this to them and that they were idiots if they really still wanted to have a child. They aren't even engaged, let alone married, and have only been together for 8 months. Now I feel bad for my reaction and probably was being an arsehole. I could have been nicer about it. Am I the arsehole here? And there is an edit which we will cover after the comments. Now we always come into these situations and there's always a better way of dealing with it, but I totally get the shock reaction, especially when you explained your past as well, and you know, you've been through this situation and you are just worried for this couple and what they might be facing in their future. So I totally get that, and I'm definitely going to say not the arsehole in this situation. I think sometimes tough love is what's needed in these particular situations, especially after the quota of something of what was said, girlfriend saw her sister had a baby and now she wants one. It's like, what? It's not a toy. That's years of pain and commitment. Maybe not so much of the pain, but you know what I mean. But let's check out some comments to see what they say. And Snow White Sludge says, not the arsehole. Those kids need some tough love. The skeptic in me feels like she's trying to lock him down early. Works part-time, no future plans, and he just landed a decent paying steady career. They've been together 8 months, they're both under 20, which means there's still lots of growing up to do. It is foolish, and I think they were in need of a reality check. I don't think them not being married is a big issue, but they should experience a long-term relationship together and living together before throwing a baby into the mix. And Nico says, and not the arsehole, the girlfriend works part-time with no future plans and wants a baby now because her sister just had one. Sit your son down without girlfriend and have a heart-to-heart, please. He's not even 20, and if girlfriend gets away, he will soon be supporting her and their child, while his friends are out doing whatever young people do these days. Young kids and their shenanigans. Laughing Fox Create says, not the arsehole, have they considered a puppy? And Beaker says, not the arsehole. You may want to circle back with just your son and explain in less harsh terms how difficult raising kids is when you're just starting out. Suggest they look into all costs of having and raising a child and compare that to their available income. What are their goals or home ownership or career? How rough will it be if they are spending all their money and time on a baby? And this all ignores that they've only been together for 8 months and they are barely adults. Anyway, I think you should double down, but do it in a way that lets them draw the conclusion that having a baby right now is idiotic. And Bet Broban says, I can understand why people would feel that you are harsh on them, but my vote is 100% not the arsehole. They have no idea what they are getting into. And Kakistan says, not the arsehole. I get that you were rude, but brutal honesty is needed sometimes. They're both very young, low income, have little support, but most importantly, in my opinion, they've only been together 8 months. That's ridiculous. And the edit update says, I feel like I just got roped into some insane shit show. The happy couple just broke up. Apparently there was a fight because she did not mention to him that she had stopped birth control before telling me. She also apparently has another boyfriend whom she brought over after my son went to work. His job ended up sending everyone home due to a gas leak, and my son caught his girlfriend with her other boyfriend that was also unaware she had stopped taking birth control. Her mother and I spent the evening trying to price out everything to show them what it's like and walked into all this chaos. Hopefully, she isn't pregnant, but my son is absolutely heartbroken that everything played out this way. I have no idea what to do here. I think I'm still in shock. Obviously, I'm comforting my oldest from heartbreak, but damn, I did not see this one coming at all. I was just hoping to break the baby fever with a bit of reality. And wow, what a turnaround there, right? But I think this is going to sound harsh, but in the best possible way, this was a good outcome in a way that your son found out about what she's like before they had this kid together, and now he's not pinned down, so I think that's a bit of a lucky escape. But anyway, we'll move on to the next story. What a crazy one. And this next story is from Wanna Know. Am I the arsehole for embarrassing my stepdad to his friends after he called my dad a loser? My mum was a single mum until I, 16 male, was 8, and that's when she met my stepdad, Luke. My dad wasn't around because my mum said he was an alcoholic and knew he wasn't going to be a good dad. He never found out about me until I was 10, and it was a whole thing. But he'd already been sober for years. Now I'm 16 and we're close. He's not just the fun dad, but also strict, and he was always upfront about his problems because he didn't want me falling into the same things. Luke wasn't happy when my dad came into my life, and you can tell because he'd get serious. And then he'd ignore my dad when he comes to see me and stuff, or my birthday parties. I don't get to spend a lot of time with my dad, only weekends and when I'm on school breaks or holidays, so I ask him if we could have more time together. My mum doesn't want to because I belong at home, so they're taking this to court now for him to get joint custody. The other day, Luke's friend came over to the house and they played poker in the kitchen. I came downstairs to charge my phone, and I heard his friends ask how it's going with the custody thing. He was just ranting about my dad being a bum, and then he said he doesn't know why I even want to go with that alcoholic loser. My dad was an alcoholic back then, but he's literally been sober for like 11 years. He got his own business and makes good money on top of all that, so it just made me mad how he was calling him. And I called out from the living room, my dad makes more than him, so I don't know why he thinks to call him a loser when he's made his life better since he stopped drinking. I left to my room mad, but I know it was quiet in the kitchen. My mum came to me after and she told me I didn't have a right to embarrass him like that. She knew Luke was out of line talking bad about my dad, but I need to understand it's hard for him knowing that I want to spend more time at my dad's than here. So I don't know if I was the arsehole in this or not. And we'll start off with Greek American Dom saying, not the arsehole your mum and stepdad are though. What they're doing is called parental alienation, essentially trying to coach you to turn against your other parent, instead of letting you have whatever relationship you want. You're old enough to voice your own opinion in the court. If you want more time with your dad, let him know that you're willing to testify that you want more time with him. And my life is a dank meme says, not the arsehole. He shouldn't have talked about it in the house, friends or not. They aren't concerned about your feelings. You shouldn't have been made to feel anything negative about wanting your dad in your life. I find it very interesting that they made it about them. That's irresponsible, selfish and childish. If this threatened them so much, perhaps they should work on being people who you want to be around. You hear stories about why people go no contact as adults, and this sort of thing is exactly why. And Himalayan Kitten says, not the arsehole, he's an adult and should know better than to talk about your father where you could possibly hear. And why wouldn't you want to spend more time with your father? And Flock says, you are 16, why is your mum even going to court? Surely at that age, it's a waste of time and money because unless they can prove he's a danger to you, the judge will just follow whatever you want as you are almost an adult. And Fishman8100 says, not the arsehole, sounds like Luke is jealous of your dad, alongside the fact that it's morally wrong to hide the fact that you have a kid from the father. And we'll have one more from Inner Nothing 7779 saying, not the arsehole, your statement about your dad making more than him was fantastic. Big props to your dad for getting clean and turning his life around. That is awesome. And now I turn all these stories to you guys. What do you guys think of these stories? What are your verdicts on today's stories? I would love to hear them in the comments below if you have a moment of time to do so. Absolutely never feel pressure to do so either though. I just look at this channel as more of a community based channel and I always see the same people getting involved and stuff like that, which is absolutely fantastic. So as always, feel free to get involved if you choose to do so, but again, never any pressure either. Thank you so much for your love, your support, and the time out of your day for being here. It's absolutely incredible. Remember, we have a members video coming this Saturday, so make sure to check out my main page. There'll be a playlist there for members, if you are a member, of course. And that should be appearing at around 3 PM UK time. Thank you so much for your love, support, and time, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.
I've been thinking that I can't let you go.